Today, Baba is reminding us that now we are on return journey and nobody in the world knows what Baba tells us. And Baba gives us the knowledge and makes us sit in the awareness that I am a soul and I have taken 84 births, and how this world is a stage and the soul is an actor, and from the soul world I, the actor, come onto the stage, and then I take up 84 costumes one by one, and then here I am in my last birth, last costume. And Baba says that we cross through different clans. So we change from a Brahmin to a Kshatriya to a Vaishya to a Shudra, and then then Baba comes, and Baba transforms us from a Shudra to a Brahmin, and then from a Brahmin again to a deity we change. Now you see this what we call the Varno ka Chitra, or the picture of how we take how we take birth into different clans or Varna, is very unique to Indian philosophy. So you see, although we find the images of deities and angels in every religion. So some kind of, there are Greek gods and Chinese gods, and then, so we have deity figures in every religion. We have the pictures, variety pictures of angels also in many religions. But this particular picture where there are different clans or varna that are depicted, this is very unique to Indian philosophy. And especially, there is this picture of Virat Roop, in which they show that there is a Virat Roop of Sri Vishnu shown, and there the face is shown as Devata, and then the hands, this portion is Kshatriya, and then down below there's Vaishya and Shudra. And then we have this picture, and then people talk about, how the Shudra changes again into the deity. So in the Murlis, Baba describes it as the somersault or the bajoli that we play every cycle. So we change from deity to Kshatriya to Vaishya to Shudra, and from then on to Brahmin and to a deity. And Baba says in the Virat Roop image in the world, in Indian philosophy, the Brahmin stage is not shown. So they show the Shudra and the deity, but there is no Brahmin. And it is Baba who tells us that from the Shudra we cannot on our own transform into a deity. So Shiv Baba comes and changes us into a Brahmin and teaches us and prepares us to have this return journey back to our home and to our kingdom in Satyug. And this accurate picture is what Baba creates for us of, crossing through the various clans and then becoming a Brahmin and then changing into a deity. And you see so the ages, Golden Age, Silver Age, Copper Age, Iron Age, these are also depicted in many ways. So, in the Hindu philosophy also we talk about Golden Age, Silver Age, Copper Age, Iron Age. But this thing about changing from a Brahmin, from a deity to a Kshatriya to Vaishya to Shudra, this is not there in any other this clan, the description of clans or castes, this is very unique to Indian philosophy. And Baba says that we actually, I the soul, when I come onto this stage and take 84 births, then my 84 births are in four different clans. And then the fifth one is when Baba changes us from a Shudra to a Brahmin. And then when the kind of Brahmin I become, that decides the kind of deity I will become. Now, you see that this knowledge of how we pass through different stages and different clans and the description. So, there are many, so of course, Baba gives very accurate description of what we are like when we are deities, and then how we are when we are Kshatriyas, and then how we are in the Vaishya or Shudra stage. Baba gives us a lot of description about our journey of 84 births. And Baba also gives us very specific information about how many births we take in different clans. So Baba says 8 births as a deity, 12 as a Kshatriya, 21 as a Vaishya, and then 42 as a Shudra, and then one birth as a Brahmin. So these are the calculation of our 84 births. And Baba says now we have to, in this one birth, have the return journey from the Iron Aged to the Copper Aged to Silver Aged stage and to the Golden Aged state. So this is the return journey that we need to have. And Baba teaches us the method to have this return journey. And Baba says, although you take 84 births of journey, but when it is time to return, then in one birth, you have to, with Baba's directions and Shrimad and with Yog Bal, we have to pass through all these stages. We have to change our stage from Iron Aged to Copper Aged to Silver Aged to Golden Aged in this one birth itself. And then Baba talks about the signs of a Silver Aged stage. So when the soul is on return journey and you are remembering Baba, so the primary method, the primary, yukti or method through which you transform from a Shudra to a deity again, or the primary method of changing from your Iron Aged state and going back to your Golden Aged stage is remembrance of Baba. So there are many other things also Baba talks about, but this is the main thing, that you remember Baba. And today Baba talks about unadulterated remembrance and unadulterated knowledge. So we primarily need two powers to go back. So one is the power of knowledge and another is the power of remembrance. And and Baba says, when does remembrance and knowledge have power to purify us and enable us to have this return journey? When it is unadulterated remembrance and unadulterated knowledge. So we know about adulteration a lot these days, and anything that is adulterated doesn't have power. So Baba says the definition of unadulterated remembrance is you remember just one Baba and none other. Yes, so Baba says, how do we make this return journey? Remember just one Baba and none other. So although you are living in this world and settling your karmic accounts, but don't remember anyone or anything other than Baba. Now, what does Baba mean by, don't remember? So Baba says that you operate with everything, but don't have emotional attachment to anything, because when you have your heart attached to something, then you remember it. And how do we withdraw this attachment of the heart? By understanding that everything here is perishable. Everything as we see it is going to collapse and it is disintegrating. And when you keep that in your awareness, then you are detached and loving. You are caring for everything, but you are detached. And Baba also gives an example about, how with the body also we have to be completely detached. Now, Baba says completely detached from the body doesn't mean that you don't care for the body. Yes, so sometimes, Baba in the Murli says that this is your most valuable body, because through this body, you are sitting in this body and absolving yourself of the sins of 63 births, and purifying yourself and receiving Baba's knowledge and sustenance and power. And I always think, it is through this, these two eyes that I see Baba's Rath, Baba's chariot, or it is through these. So when Baba sees me also, he always sees me in this body. So this body definitely is not something to not be cared about. But Baba says unadulterated remembrance means you always have it in your awareness that this body is perishable, and everything that you see with these two eyes is perishable. So you don't have your heart attached to anything. And when you don't have your heart attached to anything, you don't remember it. So remembrance is an aspect of the heart. And when you have this in your awareness that everything is collapsing and perishing, then you don't attach your heart to anything. And Baba says it doesn't mean you don't care. You, of course, care, because whatever has been given to you in Sangam Yug has a lot of value, because uh, your resources in Sangam Yug help you create the fortune for the next whole cycle. So it is important that you care and use the resources, whether it is body, mind, wealth, relationships. Baba says you care for everything and you use it very productively for your self progress and for seva, and you create a fortune. But you don't have remembrance of it, your heart is not attached to it. Because, Baba always gives an example that when somebody is dying and you know that their time is over, then, have you, I don't know whether you have an experience of this, but if you have, just none, you will notice that, there is a time until when somebody is dying or something is going away, and then you are living in the hope that it is not going to go away. And then, until then, you become increasingly attached to it because there is the fear of losing it. But then, once your intellect understands and your heart accepts that this has to go away, or somebody is leaving the body anyway, then you become completely detached from them, or that thing which is going away. And if you have experienced it, if you have noted it, you would understand this. So until there is hope, until you don't have 100% clarity that something is going away, your heart is attached to it. But once you know that now it's not there, it's not in my control, then you just detach. Just like, um, when somebody leaves the body, then you cry for some time, but you don't cling to the body, and don't keep crying over the dead body. Why? Because you realize that that person is gone and they are not to come back. And when you realize that, then there is no attachment to that body anymore. So Baba says that this is the thing about clarity. And once you recognize this, then you live with everyone and everything, and you understand that it's important for your prashad, it's an important resource to do seva, and you take care of it, but you have unadulterated remembrance of Baba. And then the second thing is unadulterated knowledge. And unadulterated knowledge is, Baba says, you only listen to one Baba and none other. So, we every Brahmin child listens to the Murli. Yes, at least 99%. So you will not take pride in calling yourself a Brahmin if you're not listening to Baba's versions every day. So definitely we take a lot of pride and attach a lot of importance to listening to the Murli every day. So every child listens to knowledge. But you know what? We also listen to other stuff which is not knowledge. And that is why and that listening to the other stuff becomes an obstacle in our return journey. So why is it that Baba has to explain one simple things, things that are true, that are absolutely true knowledge? Why does Baba have to recite that knowledge or narrate that knowledge to us every day, over and over again? Because we don't have unadulterated knowledge. We are not listening to just one Baba. If anybody made an attempt, so I have practiced this, I have tried this, that I listen to just one Baba and none other. And I only think about and churn about what Baba says, not on what this book said, or what this philosophy said, or what somebody else said, or what is the opinion of my mother or father or spouse. I have not had churning on that. And because of that, there is this power that knowledge gives you. And knowledge is also a very big power which helps you in your return journey. But Baba says unadulterated knowledge. Do not listen to Parmat, Shastramat, Gurumat, Vedmat, and do not listen to even Manmat, because sometimes you are not listening to anybody else, but you are listening to the old dictates of your own mind, which are driven by your old sanskars and old belief systems. So do not listen to any of that, and then it is unadulterated knowledge. And Baba says, with the power of this unadulterated remembrance and unadulterated knowledge, you become pure. And when you become pure, then you make your return journey, because our journey has been from absolute purity in the deity stage to increasing amounts of impurity and absolute impurity in this Shudra stage. Now we have to have the return journey. So Baba says, use the power of knowledge and yoga to have return journey and unadulterated remembrance and unadulterated knowledge. And Baba tells us the sign of when we will reach the silver age. So the silver aged stage will have the sign that our karmendriyas, or our organs of action, will become very peaceful, will become still. They will not they will not cause any mischief. So, at this time, children are saying that you don't want to do something or say something, or, engage in some action which, Srimad doesn't allow, but still you do that and you speak such words, and you do some actions which are called vikarma by Baba. And why do we do that? Because we are still in the we are not in the silver aged state. And when the soul becomes purified and reaches the silver aged state, then there will be then this actions, organs of action will be in our control. The mouth, the hands, the feet, the organs of, all the organs that cause mischief, they will be in our control. And when we reach the golden aged state, they will be absolutely in our control. So Baba says these are the signs. Now, how do we reach there? So Baba says, apart from remembering me and having the power of unadulterated knowledge by churning on the knowledge I give you, you also have to take some precautions. Now you see, these karmendriyas, so why do you act viciously? Because, there is a simple law: input is equal to output. So, if the input is wrong, then the output will also be wrong. So we are not, and when Baba talks about precautions, he's talking about the input we take from the eyes, nose, ears, tongue and skin. So the input that we take from these 5 sense organs, if that is not pure, then our actions cannot be pure. Our actions will also be impure. So if we do not want to engage in actions that are of the nature of vikarma, then we have to take precautions about what we see, what we hear, what we eat, what we read, or the kind of environment we are in, the vibrations we are absorbing. And if we don't make concrete and conscious choices about these, if we are not careful about this, then Baba says that you will keep doing vikarma. And when we belong to Baba, then the calculation of the burden of vikarma is very different. So you see that the law of karma says action and the consequence, or the fruit of action, are related. Now, but in the different yugas, the action that we perform and the fruit that we reap out of it have different calculations. So you see, in Satyug you do action but no fruit. Yes, neutral action. Then from the Copper Age, you do action and equal fruit, equal and opposite. So you do one sinful action, you get punished for one birth, not more than that. So it is one on one and one. So it is equal and opposite. It is not you do a little and get much more than that. That's not the calculation from Copper Age to Iron Age. And in Sangam Yug, the calculation is 100-fold result for one action. So Baba says, you do very little thing on Srimad. So, you just get up in the morning and remember Baba. And what do you get? You get 84 births of, fortune for that. And so the return is very huge. So the calculation in Sangam Yuga is not simple. So, and this accrues to both positive actions and negative actions. And so Baba says it is very important that we be very careful about how much burden of sinful action we are creating by indulging in vikarma in Sangam Yuga. And since it is 100-fold consequence of one action or one negative action, so we have to be very careful about not speaking or acting in a vicious way under any circumstance. And Baba says, you see, it's not just 100-fold fruit, because and how do you know it is 100 times? How do you know it is 100-fold? Because you see, when you are indulging in a negative action in Sangam Yuga, then you're not only creating a negative action now, but you're also forbidding yourself or stopping yourself from getting the fruit of 21 births of happiness that Baba is giving you at this time. So because the implication of an action is for the whole next cycle, that's why the burden is very huge. And then second thing Baba says, whenever Baba's children do anything wrong, then you are also defaming Baba. Yes, it's not just action. So do you understand the implication of one action over time? So one action can create your fortune, it can break your fortune. And second thing, one action, the ownership of that action is not just yours. You do the action and then Baba gets defamed for that. And then there is a saying in Bhakti, we say, Satguru ka nindak thor na paye, which means the one who becomes an instrument for defaming Baba, or the one who becomes that person whose actions people see and then they don't follow this path, and you become the instrument for disservice, then what happens is that burden is also very huge. And Baba says that is why, along with the power of knowledge in yoga, you also have to pay attention to not engaging in any sinful act through these karmendriyas. And how do you stop yourself from doing that? By taking very good precautions. Because if you are seeing, hearing, thinking, reading, eating food, or seeing, hearing, listening, and thinking about stuff that is coming from this old world, then your intellect will be so shrouded, it will be so clouded by those vibrations that it will not be able to discern between a correct action and a wrong action. Yes, and I will tell you one incident. There's this one sister, and she said that I get very angry. So then she said that in the last 3 months, I got angry 10 times and I created a scene in front of the whole society 10 times in the last 3 months. And then I asked, but when I interacted with her, she comes across as someone who is kind and generous and sweet. So then I asked her, what happens because, before you react like this, what happens? So she said, I don't know, something happens, like somebody tells me something. Let's say my mother-in-law told me that you don't do anything properly. And then I just sit in my room and then I keep thinking about all the things I did and all the things she didn't appreciate. And then when I open my Instagram, I see reels about how people are not appreciating you. And then I talk to my friends and they say, yes, this is a world where you're never appreciated. And then I sometimes start feeling that my mother-in-law is some big devil, which she is not, I know, but in that moment I just feel like she's a big devil, and I become that Kalima and I try to kill that devil and I create a scene. And when I come to my senses, I realize that, oh, I made a mistake. And she said, that's why I have come on my own. Nobody has told me to go to a center, but I've come on my own because I realize this is a problem with me. So now you see how much impact of what you hear and what you think and what you brood over and what you are listening to and watching and eating also. Because when you are consuming food which is prepared in in the remembrance of um, impure human beings, or in the vibrations of this old world, it is all having an impact on you. So Baba says, be very wary about these things. Take very good precautions of what company you keep, who are you listening to, what are you seeing, what are you hearing. All day you keep listening to criticism and violence, and you keep watching violent things, then violence will become very natural for you. You will not find anything wrong with violence. And you see, this is how we have been normalizing lust and violence. Just think 20 years back, if there was a scene of lust, we wouldn't watch it. We knew it was improper. But these days, we don't mind. We sit with the family and watch it, and we don't feel any shame, we don't feel any any discomfort. Not even shame, but discomfort is not there, because slowly, gradually, everything is becoming normal. So Baba is telling us that take a lot of precautions so that you don't create any vikarma, because the burden of vikarma in Sangam Yuga is going to be many hundred folds, and you will not be able to reach your self, you will not be able to have your return journey if you keep doing this. And then Baba says, if you just paid attention, then you will reach your silver aged stage, and then these karmendriyas will not trouble you. And then another thing that Baba tells for our return journey is, you want to go back to your new world of golden age, then you also have to create subjects in your golden age, because you will not go and rule there alone. So you need other people who become like you and practice the same thing, and they also purify themselves, and they also go with you to the golden age. So Baba says, you have to do seva also. And then Baba says, fourth thing you have to pay attention to is, there will be many obstacles also. And you don't have to stop when there are obstacles. Baba says, people said that when God creates a yagya, then there will be obstacles from devils, and it was understood like, some devils will come and throw some, cow dung or something into the yagya fire. But Baba says that is not the nature of obstacles. So, whenever there are obstacles in seva, when somebody or something or some situation is not allowing you to meditate, or not allowing you to be regular in class, or not allowing you to do seva, then overcome that. That is the obstacle you need to overcome. Muster the courage, muster the yoga power to overcome that obstacle so that you can go on your return journey. Okay, Om Shanti. Anybody wants to share anything, please do.
Om Shanti ji.
Om Shanti ji.
Today Baba says that this is return journey. This is another story going on of transformation. And mainly Baba emphasizes on law of karma. Be aware of good actions and sinful actions. Now we understood the difference between these actions and time also. But what we are lacking is remembrance. When we increase our remembrance, quality and time of remembrance, we will be able to achieve that sato sthiti of soul and free from vices.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you, Didi.
Thank you, Om Shanti. Anybody else would like to share?
Om Shanti Didi.
Om Shanti Ji.
Didi, in today's class, I would like to share this point from today's class that it is, yes, it's so true. We see everywhere, even in social media or anywhere, there is information, flooded with information. And that, so Baba is telling us that you should only listen to what Baba says and you should only chant what Baba says. And it is very important in our Brahmin life also that we abstain ourselves from all the mats of the world, irrespective in your Lokik family as well as everywhere. There are any people who comes in and talks to you actually gives mat. So any media in any anything you see in a media, in social media or any platform you see, it is a mat. A movie is also a mat of the director. So everything is a mat. So to abstain yourself completely from all this mat, because they will some or the other way color your mind. So this is something very important as a student, I believe. And even we see that in our student life also, we will say that you should not watch movies before, exams and all. Our parents used to stop us from doing all that. So and this is a whole, this whole life is a student life, godly student life. So this is very important. And another point which is, it's really something to think upon is that time and karma, this two has a very good, there's a relation between these two. Like in Satyug, you have no vikarma, there is no consequence of any karma. And again in from your Treta, from your Dwapar to Kalyug, it is 1:1 from Dwapar to Kalyug. And in Sangamyug, it is many folds, 1:2 Padma Gun. So this is also something that for performing any action, we need to think that whatever I am doing, it has got many folds and it has a link with my whole kalp, next kalp.
Correct.
So, thank you, Didi. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Om Shanti. Hanji, anybody else would like to share something? Yes.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti Bhai.
Purity is non-negotiable. Baba has told us that Baba is the imperishable surgeon. His precautions must be followed strictly. And just like the medicine works only when precautions are followed, yoga works only with purity. And if we never act after knowing the truth, creates a heavy karmic burden.
Yes. Thank you. Very nice. Om Shanti. हाँ जी श्वेता बहन, हाँ जी ओम शांति।
दीदी, बाबा ने आज बताया कि what is the impact of our karmas in different yugas. So we have to pay attention that each and every act, whether sankalp, bol, karma, जो भी हम कर रहे हैं, so it has got 100-fold effects on our fortune.
Yes.
So apart from
yes, Anji.
And apart from that, we have to take precautions, whatever Baba has given to us. And when we reach the Sato stage, then we will find that our karmendriyas are getting cooled down. That is the a sign that our meditation is working. And our mind will start coming in our control when we reach to that stage. And for that purpose, only one medicine is there, that is to remember Baba and also to rotate Sudarshan Chakra continuously.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Didi.
Thank you. Okay, Om Shanti.